Alrighty, we are playing Blood Elementals version 2 in Modern, and this hand has got lands and it has spells, and that is pretty good. What's quite nice is we have the Harbinger into Smokebraid into Incandescent Soulstoke play, which is pretty sweet actually. So we can start. I think we're going to go get a... If we actually do want this, like 1 and 2 and 3, then we probably want to go get a 4. So something like Spark Trooper seems pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, opponent is on planes. Fine. So let's go attacking. Actually deal some damage. Get down Smokebraider. So Smokebraider is quite a nice card in this deck. It basically is fixing and acceleration. Also, I guess we get Incandescent Soulstoke as well, because it can activate the abilities of this, because you get 2 mana, but it has to be used for elemental spells or elemental abilities. So we're going to get down Incandescent Soulstoke. Might even just attack here. Smokebraider doesn't usually get in for damage, but when in doubt, just kill him. So this is turn 3. Our opponent's just basically played 2 planes. That's it. And next turn we get Spark Trooper down, and we're going to actually be theoretically we're kind of nearly attacking for lethal. Had I been sensible, we would have paid with the... Actually, no, we needed to get the damage in, so this is fine. So it's not quite lethal. I can bolt this. I'm going to bolt this first. Get rid of the combat mass in my head. Is there a red card that deals a damage to yourself that's not a creature? That is... I mean, hopefully there'd be something in... Hope Scryfall would be able to tell you that. I don't know off the top of my head. Right. Yeah, let's go swinging. Begin combat. Attack with everything. Opponent down to 4. We're up to 27. And it's... yeah. This is what this deck does. So, pretty happy. Another Bygone Bishop. And a Topplegeist. Alright. The opponent is dead to quite a lot of things. Planes is not one of those things, to be honest. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to leave it for now. We could attack with everything, and then they block 1, take 2, and then... Actually, maybe that is the right call. I know, because they block on that, and then we lose a bunch of... We actually lose 2 creatures. So we're not going to attack. Because damage will be marked, and... yeah, bad. Don't do that. I mean, yeah, they lose 1 creature to our 2 creatures. Seems like a really bad trade. Especially when we are literally so far ahead in this game. There's no point in risking it, right? Another Topplegeist. More investigation. Interesting so far. I'm not entirely sure what opponent is trying to do. It's kind of interesting. Mana Flare. There's a couple of ones I think you might be thinking of. Is it when you tap a land, take a damage? Yeah, it could be 2 words. I'm not sure. There's mana something. Topplegeists are fine. We're going to take, what, a couple of damage here? Mana Barbs, that's the one. Yeah, Mana Barbs is a good one. Right, so we're going to play a land. We're going to play Hellspark Elemental. It's going to get in for 4, I guess. Like, this is quite a threat on its own. Especially with the whole Unearth as well. I may have a problem. My deck is over 100 cards and no lands. Depends what kind of deck you're playing. If it's a Battle of Wills deck, then you're probably fine. Alright, opponent is going to take a damage, which seems absolutely fine. We take down 3 creatures. That's That's not doesn't seem like a good deal, but all right. Maybe they had to do that. Maybe, I suppose they have to take at least a little bit of damage. So they definitely didn't want the bishop, and we would have killed the bishop. So, oops, all spell singleton. One of the things I actually really love the oops all spells builds. I love how they managed to do that. It's so cool. I'm a kind of a rules nerd. I spent a long time doing like rules based cards and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of awesome stuff you can do, or you can learn from cards. Okay, so we unearth this blocks that, then we get 2 damage. We get this is lethal. Yeah, this is lethal. I don't know what I'm trying to think about this. This is lethal. So our opponent has this is fine. Our opponent has 2 blockers and we have 4 attackers. This is how maths works. And opponents keeps it up, which is good. Awesome. Do we care? What is the song? I can't place it. Ooh. The song is called Paint It Black by... this is the version by Ramin Djawadi, which you may have heard on a little show called Westworld. Yeah. It's cool song. I was so happy when I saw that the first time on Westworld. That scene, I was just like, I was watching it going, well, I know this music. Why do I know this music? And then it was like, oh, yeah, so good. Oh, I'm not keeping a 1-lander. I'm keeping a 1-lander with a scry. There we go. On top. Oh, you haven't seen the show. It's an interesting one. Like, I really, really, really enjoyed the first season. I think a lot of people really, really, really enjoyed the first season. I think a number of people got a little bit upset, shall we say, with the second season, in that it got a little bit complicated, a very lot complicated. I mean, they had to kind of one-up themselves, which was somewhat tricky. They managed it, but it was a little bit complicated. So the reason I like it, the reason I love, it's all like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. then, a little bit, yeah. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are definitely they do like their complication stuff, especially when they start messing with time. Why'd you have to? Oh god, that brings it back. Why'd you have to go make things so complicated? Oh, sung to the tune of what's the name? Avril Lavigne. God, that takes me back. That's a blast from the past. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the reason I love Westworld, or at least the one of the reasons I watched it, was the fact that it was who was the guy? It was Jonathan Nolan, who is the brother of Christopher Nolan, and he is a fantastic director. He's a fantastic TV producer, like absolutely astounding. So he also did a program called Person of Interest, which is probably my favorite TV show ever. I'm going to go with, in that it started off kind of, it's a high alert day. Fine, sure. So yeah, Person of Interest started off like quite slow, quite monster of the week, as it's kind of known in the. I guess it's just the TV is people call it like monster of the week, which makes a lot of sense because it's the sort of like Buffy sort of, very episodic thing. And then you had Person of Interest come along, and they started off like that, but it was definitely they definitely moved off that quite quickly, especially like towards the latter seasons. And yeah, Jonathan Nolan just can't do anything wrong for me personally. He's, like I said, he weaves really, really strong stories. Now, not to say they're not complicated. They are complicated, but yeah, I think Westworld was one of those ones where it had a really good season 1, and then they did write themselves into a corner a little bit on season 2. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes long term. I really enjoyed it. So better or worse, complicated than Moffat? Less complicated than Moffat. Moffat, I've started to sour a bit on Moffat, to be honest. Like, Moffat is very good at writing single episode things. So, like, for my money, still the best episode of New Doctor Who is the Blink. Like, when he has constraints, Stephen Moffat is fantastic. When he's constrained by somebody telling him, "No, Stephen, stop it, Stephen," then he's fantastic. Unfortunately, like on some episodes or some TV programs, they just don't rein him in enough, which is why the last series of Sherlock turned into an absolute yeah. There is a fantastic video out there which is like an hour long of the deconstruction of what is it? It's like the deconstruction of what's it? I think it's like of literally the last season of Sherlock. And this guy's gone into so much detail about why it is so terrible. And it's because like he started out all right with Sherlock. Like everyone quite liked the Sherlock that he had. Like, oh look, he's a little bit weird and a little bit kooky, and it's like, yeah, okay, to be fair, I got on board with it. But it just disappeared up its own ass, like in the latter series, and I think everyone realized it. It's like suddenly the wool had been lifted off people's hands, and they're like, oh yeah, this is awful. And so yeah. Ooh, that's an interesting set of blocks. That's an interesting set of blocks. All right, well, we're going to kill Drift of Phantasms. That seems entirely logical. He's exceedingly good at like writing. Like some of his writing's really good. I think when he's got access over the long-term story, that's when it's not fantastic. So his tenure on Doctor Who was fine-ish, but it got complicated fast, like stupidly complicated. And towards the end, it was kind of disappearing under its own weight of like, well, how do we, what do we do now? And they just went bigger and better. And it's, I don't know. I think I lost the plot at some point towards, the middle of it. Capaldi is fantastic. Like, I think the actors of the Doctor Who series so far have been broadly wonderful. Like, but yeah, I mean, the Blink is probably his pinnacle of writing on the show, and I don't know, maybe they keep telling him, it's like, Blink, why don't you do Blink again? Blink was amazing, and unfortunately we're never going to have another Blink. So Moffat's long-term writing described as someone trying so hard to be smart that they end up writing wizards instead of smart people. That sounds, yeah, I kind of agree with that, I think. BRB, I'm just going to win the game, and we'll get to open a crate. Speaking of wizards. GG's. Hopefully. I mean, our opponent should be tapped out here. And we also have trample damage. Woo! Awesome. Yeah. Well, that was good. Let's have a celebratory crate. I keep calling them crates. And it is 20 play points and an hour of promise. Woo! Okay. So much so little, but never mind.